Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to part 2 for the week of January 10th. You can watch part 1 down below. It's pinned in the comments down below if you haven't watched it yet. But this is what we did for part 1. And now we are going to clarify and get more details here. I'm going to pull some anchor cards first, and then we're going to see what comes up for you. So your first card here in the first row is this Groundhog Spirit. It says time to let go. Also an interesting card for cycles. We were talking about cycles in the first reading, and it's like the groundhogs represent death and rebirth. Their totem animal meaning for groundhogs, they have multiple chambers in their burrows, and it kind of represents they go through like multiple stages of life. And I kind of feel like you are moving on to the next stage. Even with this Two of Wands here, again, the Two of Wands is about taking the lead and making some sort of change. But I don't want to take too much time on this card, but he's got this wand behind him, and it represents something that's complete, something that he has finished, and he's got this wand in front of him that doesn't stand on its own. This one stands on its own. It doesn't require his energy any longer. So it's kind of like a card of moving on to the next stage, if that makes sense. And that's really what I see going on here, especially with this groundhog spirit energy. I don't really get the Groundhog's Day energy, which is a good thing. It's not like I don't think you're like repeating things, although I would say if you are, then it's definitely time to move on to something else. With the Two of Wands, you have the Six of Cups. I mean, that could be repeating the past, right? Six of Cups is nostalgia, thinking about the past. But I think you need to think about how exciting the future can be. I really feel like I'm trying to encourage people in general to be more excited about the future, because I think it looks a little bit dull right now. So we need to add more color, more excitement to it so that we can actually create it. But at the same time, I feel like there is a lot of happiness coming in for you with the Six of Cups. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Three of Wands. What are you waiting for? The Eight of Pentacles is your crossing energy, and this Three of Wands is also your crossing energy. So I feel for a lot of you, this is saying, like, what are you waiting for? Three of Wands is like waiting for the perfect moment when there never will be a perfect moment. The Eight of Pentacles is also about work. So, but sometimes I think we have to like work on things, and it's like we really shouldn't be focusing on the result, right? We just need to work. And I kind of get that for you here, Cancer, where it's like, I wouldn't be, if you're putting work into love, or if you're putting work into business, I wouldn't be like worrying about when the results are going to come, because if you do that, then you're going to push them away, right? Because then what are you focused on? You're focusing on not having results. So I always get comments from people that are always like, I try law of attraction, but it doesn't work. I'm like, I know it doesn't work for you because you're saying it doesn't work, right? And what I get here is kind of similar to that. I feel like this is saying, put work into things, but don't worry so much about the results, because I feel like if you do, you're going to push it away. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Three of Swords. This is coming up in the area of your thoughts. Clearly, you need to think positively here, because Ace of Cups is thinking about love, and then Three of Swords clarifying is kind of like saying you could be thinking about how love has hurt you, or love has caused these pains and difficulties and all this other stuff. So I would be focusing on what you do want, not on what you don't want with this energy. I feel for some of you, remember in the first reading we were talking about how the Ace of Cups, this dove, represents peace and being at peace. This Three of Swords I do see as forgiveness. Three of Swords does represent forgiveness. Those arrows are in your own heart, and it represents like needing to forgive yourself or needing to forgive people around you. I actually do feel that this is saying, but I feel like you are forgiving people. I feel like you are releasing any energies that are kind of the opposite of forgiveness, whatever that is for you. Next, you have this Love Where You Are card. This says, use your sensitivity to know when to act. Connect your heart to your head when determining what you like. There you go. Exactly what I was saying right there. I feel like you need to kind of, where was it? Loving where you are. Remember, Eight of Pentacles right here. The Eight of Pentacles is like saying, do the work and don't worry about the results. Like very similar energy to loving where you are with this card. It's like the results are going to come quicker when you do that. I also think it's interesting. It says, connect your head to your heart. I always talk about this. Greg Braden, one of my favorite people of all time. I just said this to Pisces. It's like, he says, when your head and your heart become one, you can move mountains. So I kind of feel in a lot of ways that if you can connect your head and your heart and make the two vibrations match, then you're going to be able to accomplish quite a bit here, Cancer. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is a card of balance and kind of balancing the energies out. It's a card that says you could be ignoring one thing. You know, he's giving to one person, but he's not giving to this person over here. For you, I feel intuitively that this is saying there's a certain part of you that you are not giving to. This is coming up in the area of your foundation. I don't really see this as a good or a bad thing for you, Cancer. I think it's just more the universe is like saying, hey, there might be certain parts of you that you are ignoring. Don't ignore the important parts of you, because it's like you need to make sure that you are fulfilled. So it's like maybe you're working too hard. Make sure that you're also playing hard. Maybe you're working really hard, not focusing on your health. Make sure to balance that out by focusing on your health. I think this is more like advice or whatever you want to call it. I think the universe is just saying make sure you're not ignoring one thing or the other. In the area of the past with the Ten of Swords, you have the World. I love it. You have the Ten of Swords here in the area of the past. And again, clarifying, you have the World card here. This, to me, is a complete conclusion to whatever the Ten of Swords was. So you might have had a difficult ending in the past, but the World says it's definitely completely over. The World can be a painful process. It's like being born. You're being pushed through the squeeze. I always say it's like a card of being, going through the squeeze, but you're about to pop out into this big, bright, beautiful new world. And we even see that here. Right here. It's like you go from the World, literally a card of birth, to the Empress, a card of pregnancy. So in a lot of ways, I feel that this could be saying that you are experiencing a very significant rebirth. We see this here as well. He has this snake wrapped around his waist on the Magician, and that's the Ouroboros. It literally represents a rebirth. The Ouroboros represents kind of like the fact that we always go through these cycles. With the Magician, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I would get curious. You have a lot of cards of curiosity here. You have a lot of cards that would represent kind of like just exploring. You have the Six of Cups, the Three of Wands as well. I hear from a lot of people, they're always like, they're like, I don't know, maybe you're like 40 years old and you're like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I always say to those people, what if you're just meant to be you? I think that school, the society tells us we have to have this career, we have to be this one thing, right? But as I always say, we're not robots, right? We are not just one thing. We are always changing. So it's like, what if you want to be a lawyer, dentist, doctor that also bakes cookies and breeds llamas? It's like, I think people need to start thinking like that's possible. You can be all of those things. Or what if we're just here to have experiences? What if we are just here to experience being something for a short period of time, and then we move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing? It's like society isn't really built for that. But guess what? I'm here to tell you right now that things are changing, and literally Neptune and Pisces, which we have Neptune and Pisces until 2025, is here to create that for us, where it's like we don't have to just be one thing. We can experience multiple things. How is it going to happen? I have no freaking clue. Don't ask me, right? But what I would say is it's going to happen. So mark my words. So I feel like you need to explore with the Page of Swords. It's like, yeah, you're going to have people in your life that are like, what are you doing with your life? You're crazy and all this other stuff. But really, they're going to be the crazy ones in the future, Cancer. In your next row, you have the Mermaid's Love card. Could be a water sign coming in for you in love, clearly. So, to me, this could just be love coming in for you. I also feel that this is talking about something like a little bit more magical coming into your life. I feel that there maybe are I'm getting this like weird miracle energy type of thing popping into my head. So let's look into it. With the Empress, you have the Queen of Swords. She has her back to the past. If we put her here, her back is to everything over here. I really do feel you're more focused on the future with that Queen of Swords. She also is focusing on the Moon. The Moon could be a crazy idea. Again, the Moon is a card that represents a period of innovation. You could be more focused on some sort of crazy idea for your life or some sort of crazy vision. And Queen of Swords doesn't care. She sees things clearly. So there you go. With the Two of Swords, you have the Star. Love it. This is coming up in the area of your closest relationships. You could be getting a lot of very positive attention with the Star card. Excuse me, Cancer. You could be getting a lot of positive attention. You could also be healing close relationships as well. Like I said, that seems to be what you're doing. Also, what I would say is you could be inspiring people with the Star as well. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the King of Wands. This is coming up in the area of your future feelings. I feel like you're feeling more confident. Again, I feel this for all 3 water signs. Water signs are definitely being given a major boost in confidence this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if you're feeling more confident, more ready to go, feeling like you can conquer the world, really, with this King of Wands energy. And with your outcome here with the moon, you have the 5 of Pentacles. No stinking thinking. Get out of your head, Cancer, with the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. It's like literally on this card, on the moon card, the dog and the coyote are warnings to the fool on his journey. The fool gets the moon card. He's going down this path. The dog and the coyote, or the dog and the wolf, they kind of represent, the different aspects of ourselves. The dog represents the more tame part of us as humans, right? The more, whatever you want to call it, domesticated energy in all of us. The wolf represents the freaking wolf inside of us, represents the beast, the monster that wants to come out. And the moon says, like, can you balance those 2 things out? Can you use both energies? Both energies are important. One of the major awakenings that I think is going to happen for people in general between like now and 2033 really is that like I think people are going to realize that we are meant to be a combination of energies. We're not meant to just be like one static energy, like I said. So it's like we're meant to have a little bit of a wild side and a little bit of the domestic side, but it's like how can we get the 2 to work together? That's maybe what you're realizing with this moon card. You also have these 2 pillars in the background. The 2 pillars say do not get off your path, Cancer. The 2 pillars in the background say do not call attention to your weaknesses. You want something, if you want something, then you deserve it, so go for it, plain and simple. I want to pull another outcome card here. Yeah, you have this bee spirit. Look at this. It says sweet results await. So clearly there are rewards. Clearly there are very positive results coming in for you. I just feel like you have to kind of believe it with this energy. I would say also here that I would kind of tap more into your childlike energy. The 6 of Cups is a card of children. There are these 2 children and there's an old person walking away over here. I kind of see this as you needing to be more childlike though. Sometimes I feel like it's the opposite. Sometimes I feel with the 6 of Cups, it's more saying you need to mature. For you, I feel like this is saying that there are people in your life who are going to be like, grow up. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like you're going to be more successful. Again, it always reminds me of like YouTube, right? It's like when I started YouTube, I'll never forget my grandfather. He kept being like, when are you going to get a real job, right? And it's like you could argue that YouTube isn't a real job, but at the same time, it's like more and more people are finding more and more success on YouTube and things like that. So it's like it is a real job, but to him, it wasn't because he was old, right? And I feel like this is saying that there are going to be situations coming up for you that are very similar, Cancer. I feel like you might have people in your life that are like, when are you going to get a real job? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? So what is your job, Cancer? According to this reading, your job is to keep doing what you're doing, ignore what they say, and then when Christmas comes around and you pull up in your brand new Lambo, it's like who cares what they say, right? So your job is Lamborghini. Operation Lamborghini is your job here, Cancer. Operation Glow Up is what this should be called. So thank you for being here, Cancer. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Again, if you didn't watch part 1, it's linked up down below. So thank you, Cancer, and definitely enjoy your week.